Hello and welcome to part 1 of this tutorial on how to make socks. So today I'm going to show you the start and how to make the hole for the heel. So like the start, the leg part and the hole for the heel. I'm using this yarn, the Rauma Vandre yarn. It has a thickness of 120 meters on 50 grams. I don't know what that translates to in sort of more like DK and that kind of thing, but yeah, I'll link the yarn down below. So I'm going to be using the Mammen stitch. I have a tutorial on it already, but I will just be sort of showing you what I'll be doing and won't sort of explain too much. You can go to that tutorial for the beginning and how to do the stitch. So the first step is just to start like a loose line of stitches, like any beginning for anything, and you just want to keep going and measure on your foot, which I'll show in a second. But the Mammen stitch, for those of you who've forgotten, is 2 loops behind the thumb and then through. And I will be using my no-looking technique, so don't be too confused. Again, check out the video I'll link that's like a tutorial for this stitch. Ooh. So now I need to put some new thread on this, and I have this little start, and I'll see you back here when I have enough to wrap around my foot, and I'll show you how to measure. This is how you need to measure. Lay it like very unstretched around the biggest part of your foot, as in the part that's like your heel to the top of your foot, and it should overlap a bit. So like here we have like a couple of centimeters overlap, and that's for the shrinkage of the first few rounds. So when you have it about like this, maybe a little bit more overlap if you have bigger feet than me. I have a size 37 European. So if you have bigger feet, make more overlap, and this is a thing that you'll like figure out for your own feet in time, like the feet and the stitch and the yarn combo. But yeah, when you have this, you can start connecting it together in a loop. So now you've measured the right length for your foot, and you want to connect it all into a loop. Find the right place and connect to the 2 last stitches. I'll be using these 2. Well, 2 first, I guess, but yeah. And then we keep going with an F2 connection. So one new loop, one old loop, 2 loops behind the thumb. And basically you just keep going until you have a long enough cuff. That's up to you, your preference. You can have fun and make stripes, change out the color, that kind of thing. But basically you just want a cuff that's long enough for your preference before you make the hole for the heel. So basically you just keep on going. And here I've cheated a bit, so I've already been working on the second sock. I do not recommend that you do this. I recommend that you work parallel, so make 2 starting lines, make sure they're the same size, then connect them, and then keep working. But I've got some more experience, so I just like worked a bit and not just a bit. This is as long as I want my cuff. It's pretty long compared to other socks I've made, but yeah, I'm trying this for this time. And so I've gotten as far as I want before I make my heel. So my end is in line with my start, approximately. And now we need to measure again to see how many stitches we need to lose for the foot. To measure for the foot, just put your cuff on your foot and then pinch the side to a comfortable tightness. I think I want mine about here. Take it off while it's pinched, and then you can look here and see either how many stitches you want to lose, or you can measure this with a ruler or something. So now I've stuck the needle through the pinch place, and I'll use this measuring tape to measure the centimeters I want to lose. So I'll just stretch this out over the needle, still keeping the pinch points in, and then measure this. So that's, let's see, that's about 4 centimeters. Let's see, can we make this stay? Yeah, it's about 4 centimeters that I want to lose for the foot, which means that my heel line needs to be 4 centimeters shorter than this. So yeah, we just need to remember 4 centimeters, and now we can go ahead and make the heel line or the heel opening. So to do that, you just make an unconnected line, a bit like the beginning. So just the 2 behind the thumb and through. And you keep going until you get to about 4 centimeters away from the other side. So like we're working with this width, and we're going to end up 4 centimeters away from the edge here. Maybe a little bit more because of shrinkage, so like maybe 3.5 centimeters away, about that. And I'll keep my measuring tape handy so we can measure as we go. That's the trick, really, with socks and anything in Nalbinding, is to measure as you go. When you start out making socks and stuff, make them for either people you have in your household or yourself, so that you can actually measure on the foot or hand or whatever that is going on. Because yeah, you can learn to make things for other people, who are not there, but it takes a lot of practice. So I don't recommend that as your first project. Oh, my yarn is not behaving. Yeah, if you feel like I'm going too fast with the actual stitches, just refer back to my very slow tutorial that I'll be linking below. Okay, let's see where we're at. I might have gone overboard. So we need to be about 3 centimeters away, and we're laying this very loosely. I can like tighten up the back here a bit, so just like that, and then laying it very loosely, and then checking, let's see, aligning so that the edge over here is the last stitch that we connected. And then I'll measure from the end here, and we're about, we seem to be 1 stitch over. So I'll take off 1 stitch and then connect. Let's see, now you get an example of how I go back a stitch. I think that should be fine. We can measure again. So about 3.5 centimeters. And I want the bottom of the last loop to sort of hit that mark, and it does. So I'm not looking at this edge, I'm looking at the bottom here. So the next connection point. And I think we're good. If not, we'll get some socks that are slightly loose, and that doesn't make any difference. But yeah, I think I'm happy with that approximately. And now we'll connect. So instead of connecting where we are connecting to the edge here. So I'll just have to align it and then find the stitch that I want to use, which I think when I pinch this, there's sort of 1 stitch, like there's a couple in the bend here, but I'll take this one and I'll connect using that. Not 2 stitches this time, just 1, and connect in. So this is a normal-ish stitch. Then you just keep going and keep going. And I recommend doing at least 3 rounds of the foot, which is what we've now started on, before you come back and do the heel. So what you're going to do now is just continue around for 3 rounds here. So you get like 3 rounds of the foot bit, and then we can come back and fill in this bit with a heel. So I'll show you just a little bit more, and then I think we're good. I think I'll make this a 3-parter, so part 1 is what you're watching now, part 2 will be the heel, and part 3 will be the toes. I make my sock toes, for me at least, slightly different than your standard sock, because my feet are not super standard. So I'll show you that, but I also tell you like how to make a standard one. But again, it's mostly trying it on and trying it on, trying it on again. Oh, there, I get it. So now you're on, so now this is your cuff, and then this is the opening where the heel is going. And then the rest will be, so what you're working on now, or I'm working on now, is the foot. The foot will sort of go from here and out, and then end in toes, and then we'll add a heel here. So I think that's it for this tutorial, and then come back for part 2 and I'll show you how to make a heel. I hope this was useful to you. Again, if you're confused about the stitch, go and look at the tutorial that I've linked down below. And I hope this helps. Okay, bye!